All right, welcome to Real Business Roundtable. Today we're going to talk about guerrilla marketing, how you can apply it to your business, what exactly does it mean, and we're going to give you guys some examples, maybe some case studies.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit. So last episode we talked about ad campaigns and I've just been I've just been paying attention to different campaigns that are really successful, and a lot of them are guerrilla campaigns. They're out of the norm. They're different. They're extravagant. Whatever you want to call it. They're not running advertisements. They're out in the streets. They're well organized. It's cool. A lot of guerrilla campaigns have been very successful too. The first thing that comes to mind is that recent movie Smile. Mm-hmm. That's what made me think about all this, because they did a phenomenal job, and I mean the movie blew up. I'm not sure how much they did, but let's see, Smile box office numbers.
Like if you're ever at a stoplight and you see the back of a sign or whatever, you'll see stickers on the back of the sign. That's a form of guerrilla marketing. It's about going out or doing something different that's outside of the norm, taking matters into your own hands for the smallest investment possible.
Yeah, or something like flash mobs too.
Yep, those were big in the early 2000s. So basically, if a flash mob works like this, let's say Times Square, New York City, you have a bunch of people walking around, they're dressed in normal clothes, then they take their jackets off and they're all wearing the same color and they all start dancing, representing some type of brand. And then everybody stops and looks. You get everybody's attention right then and there. Someone might film it, especially if you do it in today's world. That would end up being on TikTok, which could go viral.
Yeah. So like I was just saying before, box office was for Smile was very successful. They had a $17 million budget and they grossed $216 million. That's pretty successful in today, with a horror movie. I feel like that's very good. Yeah, but
that is good.
This all makes me think about guerrilla marketing, and it kind of, ties into the creativity that I was expressing or illustrating in the last episode. It's something different. It's something that really catches people's attention. And what Smile did was they had random actors go to, big baseball games, or they went to, basketball games, or I think there was a bunch of other stuff, and they would just have people sitting behind the batter.
Yeah.
Just with a weird smile, with a creepy smile. And that was kind of it really tied into the movie, and they had these shirts on that said Smile, and it got a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. And, people noticed that. They noticed that this company, whoever came up with the idea to do that, is a genius, and they did a phenomenal job with it. I think it really brought a lot of attention to the movie, and it really made people think about companies. It made companies think about how they're running ads or how they're advertising their company, and just saying, they kind of prove the point that if you do something different, it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm. One of the ones that I've seen out there is graffiti, but you have to be really careful with this because if you have somebody do graffiti, you really need to get permission, because if they see the company name or a phone number on the graffiti, you could get a fine.
But is the fine worth it at the end of the day?
Yeah, you got to be really careful with the graffiti one. You got to remember also, if you put anything anywhere, you do run the risk of being fined for doing something. So around here in Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire, you see a lot of the yard signs. Mm-hmm. So you go at an intersection, you look to the right or left to see there's a little bit of grass or dirt. You'll see people sticking signs. And we see a lot of companies that we know have a horrible web presence, did no digital landscape, and they rely only on the yard signs, which I get it. You're trying to save a buck, but that is a form of guerrilla marketing. I'm not going to.
Is that a form of guerrilla marketing?
Yeah, because you're just going out and you're putting out a yard sign when you're really not. You don't have permission to do that.
Yeah. So
most of those people. So I met a business owner once that built their whole business off guerrilla marketing. She would convince pizza shops, put a sticker on the box. I'll pay you guys $100. Just stick my sticker on the pizza box. She was doing yard signs. She was doing stickers at stop signs. She was doing a bunch of other things that were all guerrillas, but she had no web presence. Well, she had a basic website. But she was making a killing off of that. She was kind of riding that train, that freebie train of guerrilla marketing. And just one thing keep in mind is guerrilla marketing needs to be part of your plan. It's not going to be the one thing that you do, because someone complained about too many of her signs being in the intersections, and then she ended up getting a call or a fine from the state or something like that. But here and there, it's okay if you can get away with it.
Yeah, so guerrilla marketing by definition is innovative. It's unconventional. For the most part, I think it was considered also low-cost marketing.
Yes.
But in today's world, would you consider the Smile campaign guerrilla marketing?
Absolutely.
So that wasn't low cost. So what I think when I hear guerrilla marketing in today's world, back then, flash mobs, stickers, all that stuff, yeah, 100% that's low cost. But today, I think these different campaigns, these very unconventional campaigns, the guerrilla marketing tactics that some of these companies are doing are not very low budget. It can be. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of define what guerrilla marketing was. And, I think this is, I think guerrilla marketing works well for, small businesses?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
100%.
I guess there's a spectrum to it. There's, a small, any size business can really take advantage of guerrilla marketing. But it could be used in a very small way, and it can be used in a very big way, as the movie had proven that.
It's about going outside of the norm, outside of it. Like, you're thinking, okay, billboards, TV, radio. You're kind of going outside of that, still getting in front of all the eyeballs, and you're kind of thinking, okay, where are there a big cluster of people where you could just come out and show? Like, for example, some people park their trucks in high traffic areas.
Yeah.
They'll go get their truck wrapped in their company name, and they'll just park in a parking lot right abutting a main dragway, or whatever you want to call it, the street, like a high traffic area. They'll park their truck right up against, so when you're driving, you can see it right there like a billboard. You'll see that sometimes.
Yeah.
Parking your truck there, it's a public open area. You can park your car there, but then sometimes you see them do that, and that's like a free billboard. That's kind of like guerrilla-esque. Almost crossing the line of doing things you're not supposed to do. So I don't think, like, if you're at a sports game, you're allowed to advertise. I don't think you're allowed to.
People have, and people do it.
Yeah, so like that smile tactic, I'm not sure if they got permission to do that, but they just did
permission?
it.
Yeah.
So for guerrilla, you're just doing it, and you're dealing with the consequences after.
Hoping that, the amount of business that you get from the marketing tactic that you decided to do would pay off the fines or whatever you...
Yeah, back in the day, I actually heard about these weird things where, like, a truck would pull up, the truck would open up, and literally there would be a performance on the truck. Or like a fashion designer would do the same thing, pull up a truck, the side would open up, and then they'd have like a boutique with all of their like clothing that people could come up on the stairs and buy shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's guerrilla marketing. And they would do it just like right in New York City, where like rent is $1 gazillion a month. But they would just do it right there, then and there in the street, like a pop-up truck store, sell their shit, make an impact, hand out some flyers or whatever, and then bounce. That's really how that works.
It would be really cool. I'm just I love thinking of different ideas on like campaigns like this. Imagine with our new company, we went out into like New York in like business district and put drones up in the sky. Those drones that draw those images and stuff, like they kind of look like fireworks, but they're just drones.
Yeah.
With the lights on it. Imagine we just put the name in the sky and just kept it there for like an hour. And just kept it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be
really
that'd be cool.
Sick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
No, I just like I love thinking of these different ideas. Marketing is so interesting. When people think of marketing, they think of building a website, running ads, SEO, all this stuff. But the reason why I think I love marketing is because there's no limit to it. Creativity is infinite when it comes to marketing, because there's so many different things you can do. And that's why I like guerrilla marketing so much, because it's like it's just there's unlimited things that you could do with this type of marketing. You know what I mean? I love that.
Oh, the level of creativity that you can implement is unlimited. You can just kind of just
love it.
Come up with a unique idea. how to get in front of eyeballs. But the key is to get as many eyeballs as possible to see you or see your message for the lowest cost possible. So it's always the unusual or unexpected, whether it's a flash mob, a sticker, a sign somewhere, or you're wearing a t-shirt or getting a bunch of people to wear a t-shirt at once. Or I've heard of some crazy ones where like the water towers, someone will go up there, 2 people will climb up and hold a big, like a canvas banner. Like basically it's like a temporary billboard and they'll hold it there. Yeah. Another guerrilla marketing is those street people that spin signs. That's technically guerrilla.
That's cool. I mean,
they're not buying ad space that's fixed. They're paying a person to hold a sign.
Yeah, and these days, this type of marketing is almost like if you're not doing it, you should be, because everyone has a phone. Everyone takes videos these days. You know, TikTok, you could easily go viral on that. It's like if you do something different and you put it out there in a well-populated area where there's cameras and people and, you know, all that stuff, then you're going to get a lot of traction. And some of the things that you do may not even cost a lot. I know I see a lot, you know, one thing that reminds me of is GoPro. What they did was genius. What they did was they created this app where you could download the video directly from the GoPro onto that app. And there's essentially a community on there where you can post it, kind of like Instagram. And what they did was they had a contest where, you know, as someone with a GoPro, you would take a video, you would put it together, put some music behind it, whatever, and you would make like a montage of some action sports, skiing, you know, wakeboarding, whatever it may be. And then they had a contest, but that contest was a very smart marketing tactic.
Yeah, it was a user created ad content,
which is genius.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Is that would you?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna ask. Would you consider that guerrilla marketing?
Yes.
100%. And like, think about it. Like when they first started, there was only, you know, a couple hundred people, you know, that were submitting or that were posting on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. And now there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people still to this day. GoPro was probably one of the, you know, most popular camera out there because of this marketing campaign, because they were seeing what people are capable of doing with this camera, and it's just genius.
I'm not going to name drop it. I'm not going to get any hints, but like there was this one time an ad agency basically created. I do respect the tactic. They created a video shitting on a big brand.
I thought that was just a guy.
No, well they.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So like they went out there and they were like, "Hey, they should be doing this." And then they blasted out the video everywhere, and that person ended up getting the client. All the dude did was shit talk what they were currently doing and said, "You need to do this and that," and then put out a video, and boom, got a multi-million-dollar client.
Maybe we should try that.
It's risky.
It is really risky, but you know,
high risk, high reward. But you could get slapped. You get slapped with a lawsuit. Anything could happen. Yeah. So it's like if you don't have the right connections or whatever, they could just take you down just because they're shitheads. But anyways,
I know there was one campaign. I can't remember who did it or who it was. I think it might have been either F1 or NASCAR, where they took like an F1 car and they were driving it around a big city.
That's dope.
And that's so sick, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine you're in New York City, you're grabbing lunch or whatever, and you hear this like crazy car, and I would be like, what is that? Even people who aren't interested in cars are like such a weird sound. It's like
exposure.
It's exposure, and like that I think that's genius. Like like, is it a street legal car? No. But like
I remember when the candy bar, I was just a kid, Caramello came out, and whoever owned Caramello, they were just handing out. Think about it. I was like 8 or 9 years old, and to this day, I'll never forget it. They were just handing out candy bars to everybody.
Yeah.
Boxes and boxes and boxes of candy bars. You guys know Caramello? Those candies? Dude, like, I was like, what is going on? And they were like, here you go, blah, 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 blah. They were handing out thousands of candy bars. But now that brand, Caramello, that type of candy bar stuck in my head forever. I'll never forget that experience. So that's referred to as experiential marketing. and that is experiential is a form of guerrilla, where you're almost like going out there and just getting your name out there without having to rely on serving an ad. Hopefully someone responds to the ad, or someone looks at the ad or reads the ad. It's more in your face. So these people were like, hey, I'm sure you like chocolate. What do you like? Snickers, Three Musketeers, try a Caramello. And they all had the Caramello shirts on, and they were just basically like almost like flash mobbing everybody, just giving out Caramello bars.
I personally think that I for some reason I'm convinced that Hot Cheetos was a type of marketing strategy, because
It was
like
a test, yeah, 100%.
yeah, like it was a test. I think there was a story about like how Hot Cheetos were made or something, where like a machine broke, so there was a bunch of like unflavored Cheetos. And I think, I don't know who it was, but someone went to the CEO and was like, we should add some chili. Like, why not? And I think they tried it on a batch, and they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I don't know the full story. Maybe we'll cover it.
Well, I actually heard this. Maybe these are like myths, but I heard it was one of the janitors or someone that worked there was like, hey, let's make a spicy Cheeto.
He had just eaten like a Lode or something, right?
And he proposed it to the CEO or whoever at the company, and they ended up trying a batch and going, wow, this is really good. They put out a test, and then it blew up. And that guy, there's like books written about him. It's called Flamin' Hot. Mm-hmm. That whole Flamin' Hot flavor is from a guy that worked at the chip company that was like, hey, he's a huge success. Another thing that is very, very important to consider is collaborations. So, for example, one of the biggest guerrilla marketing tactics by Domino's Pizza was filling potholes.
Yeah.
So they would
yeah.
So stuff like that, that's different, but you collab. So
they put their logo on the potholes that they filled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's genius. I forgot about that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another one, it was back in the day, I don't see a lot of it anymore, was putting stickers on the floor, big decals on the floor. And then you started to see it in grocery stores and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. But it's all about just kind of thinking outside the box, not just thinking, I can only do this and I can only do that. No. You can be creative. Just wearing your company t-shirt, or rather than just having the name on it, have something that will raise curiosity in the front, like #progress, and then in the back it says your company name. Then you're like, they're like, oh yeah. It's all about your creativity. One other form of guerrilla marketing is the creative integration with an environment. For example, you might have seen some out there when you're going into a tunnel. Around that tunnel is a billboard of someone's mouth open. It might be an advertisement for food. You've seen, for example, if you look up guerrilla marketing tactics, you'll see the donuts that were pasted on the escalator, and at the top of the escalator was Homer Simpson. You integrate your ad within an environment. Crosswalk has lines. One time, McDonald's
Yeah.
partnered up with whatever city and put their ad right on the ground at the crosswalk where everybody looks. Put the little McDonald's French fries, made the crosswalk lines yellow. So it's about being creative.
Yeah.
Now, a good tactic is to collaborate with that city and say, hey, I'll put trash cans to avoid litter, save you money on your cleanup costs.
We'll logo on the
we'll
trash
do we'll do the cleanup, but we'll supply the trash cans. Your trash cans will have your logo. It'll be wrapped in some cool artwork or something like that, where you do things that are good for the environment. It's good for the city. You're helping, and then you're collaborating with them, getting permission to do those wacky creative things, but you're giving back. So like how Domino's did the everyone hates potholes. They fixed the potholes and they put their name on it.
The Domino's logo. I just got a good idea.
Yeah. What up?
I really hope you're going to be okay. We should do this.
What?
We should wrap your cars.
No, dude. The only car that I'll wrap is a Lambo. I'm not doing that to the other ones.
No. That's not the point.
Like a promotional vehicle is like more like Lambo-ish.
Okay. How about our Beamers then? We should do that. I'd fucking do it.
So
No, maybe not.
I don't know. I got to think about that.
That's I don't know, bro.
Also, wrapping your vehicle. That's a form of guerrilla marketing.
But I think, yeah. Like, yeah. I just
like one of our clients was mentioning about another contractor that the back of all of his trucks is an image on the wrap, an image of the owner opening the back of the truck, going like this, waving. So when people are in traffic, they go, "Oh shit, who's this guy?" Rather than just seeing a boring, company name and address, you see the owner like, "Hey," waving to you right in traffic. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's unique.
We should. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. Like, I love that type of marketing. It's so like, I don't know why I find it fun to just come up with ideas. Like in my head, I'm just coming up with like ideas for not like a soap, like Axe body spray, right? Like what I remember they did that thing with bathroom signs, public bathroom signs. So whenever there's a men's bathroom sign, they would put like another green sticker next to it of girls chasing that guy into the bathroom.
Yeah.
But it would say Axe on the bottom of that sticker. Like, that's funny.
Just like that.
It's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah. So you gotta sit and you gotta think. You gotta say, okay, who am I selling to? What's important to them? What is my product doing?
Yeah.
And then try to find things in society and life and in an environment that is related or will solve that problem related to where you are actually trying to do this guerrilla marketing. So you can get creative with it, like with soap.
Yeah. There's like I said,
it's endless. It's infinite.
The creative. That's what I don't know. The creativity is the potential for creativity is endless. It's endless. You could literally come up with anything. And I think that's what I like so much about that type of marketing. And I want to travel into that realm of marketing when we start marketing for this new company.
Like if you had like some kind of like nicotine gum, it was like a big like cigarette outlet, tobacco outlet, and right across the street you park a big truck with a giant sign on the back that says, "Quit smoking today, try this new nicotine gum," or something like that. That's guerrilla.
That's also that. It's funny that you bring that up because that's going to piss off the person or the company that you're competing with. But if it's like a big retail store, that's a good way to get into that retail store.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's so many different, So I have something here. So what about Super Bowl commercials? Like the funny Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
Are those all guerrilla marketing, or is that more just like what would you call that? Because I love videos.
That's just like creativity at the highest level possible.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just kind of stepping outside of the box. Usually it's just really disruptive and very like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah, like
they all compete.
Yeah.
All those ad agencies are competing. Like who can have the most creative ad? Who can have the most impactful ad?
And they almost like, yeah. And
what was it? Coinbase that had just the bouncing around.
Oh, wait. What did they do?
They looked like Pong.
Yeah. Wait. Yes. And yes.
Yeah.
This was genius. And this was genius. Coinbase. Sam, Coinbase Super Bowl commercial. So what they did was they put a QR code. So QR codes became really big with smartphones because you could pull out your camera just like that, and you can click on a screen, and then you have a website right up on your phone. Oh, this is what they did. So they had a black screen. And what they did was they had a QR code moving around that screen, I think, or it was fixed, or I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was just a blank QR code. And everyone's like, what the fuck is this? And I loved it because there was no name. It was nothing. It was just a black screen with a QR code, no title, nothing. And you pulled out your phone. Everyone pulled out their phone. And they clicked on that QR code and it brought them right to Coinbase. Imagine the traffic that you get from that commercial. It must have been explosive. I mean, that was genius. That was genius, and it was so different. That type of shit gets me so excited. I remember seeing that. What, you brought that up, right? You just said that?
Yeah, that was like I think that was one of the most successful ones that played during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, here it is. Super Bowl ads boosted crypto app downloads by 279%, led by Coinbase. So that's you just went.
I did.
Yeah.
I had an itch in my mouth.
Get rid of that itch real quick while I get some information off this.
You ever get an itch inside your mouth? You try to take care of it with your tongue. You're like, You're doing all the scratching with the tongue.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that.
Yeah.
My ear itch. I get this weird itch in my like a station tube, and since I was a kid, I go. Drives everybody crazy. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We'll be driving in the car and he'll just go. The first time I ever heard it, he goes. No, he's going like this. And I'm like,
I get an itch in my ear.
I looked at him. I'm like, what the f are you doing?
If you get an itch in your ear, send us a DM, leave a comment, support the itchy ear movement when you go like this.
I'm trying to find a video real quick of the Coinbase ad.
Everybody hates it. Everybody hates the ear itch. Like they hate the noise. They're like, what are you doing? My son would do it when he was a baby. He saw me doing it, so he imitated me doing it. I was like, oh, I created a monster. He's doing it.
Yeah, that was genius. I just remember seeing that, and I went right to Twitter. People were like, this was the most genius ad ever put on the Super Bowl, and I guarantee it was one of the most successful advertisements put on the Super Bowl. And there was no name, there was no call to action, there was nothing. It was a QR code. That's it. Most successful ad.
That's crazy.
They grew their user base by over 200% in one commercial. Imagine the preparation for that. You know what? Now that I think about it, that ad probably costed a lot because they needed to make sure that their servers didn't crash when millions and millions of people went onto their website at the same exact time.
They had to prepare. They had to prepare for that.
A lot of preparation went into that, but it was super successful. Whoever came up with that, I honestly, I want to meet that person who came up with that ad.
Yeah.
It just genius.
Yeah, it's about being different. So if you kind of like, if people are creating certain types of ads, it's about being different, standing out. But then once people adopt that trend and they start copying each other, then people start tuning it out.
Yeah.
So you have to always stay different, stay fresh. Back in the day, we tried to get edgy and creative with our ad design and our ad scripting. And clients sometimes don't like the idea. They don't want to risk. They don't want to be too funny. They want to be taken seriously. And we've actually had clients that were like, yeah, go for it. Be creative, be funny. And we create the ad and they're like, no way, not happening. And we just did all that production for nothing.
Yeah, it's risky. And, but
so I'll get into a little bit, and I won't name drop. So like we worked with a window blind company. How boring can you get? Window blinds. So we're like, okay, how can we get the attention of people that want to buy window blinds? So we created a guide or an instruction video on how to properly install window blinds. So we went to work and the client was like, yeah, create something funny. Well, we had this guy with a mullet, almost like a Joe Dirt. Is that the guy's name in the movie? He was like dressed up kind of like Joe Dirt. He had the long mullet and he was like making all these like little jokes and this and that. And he was like, one of the scenes, he's holding the drill and he's like gyrating. He's like, now you need to get yourself a drill. And then it was hilarious. But we played the video production. So we played it for the ad to get looked at by the client and get approved. No. Big fat no. They wrote us this long email. This is so inappropriate. We would never do this. And we were like, but this is the type of video that will go viral. And that's a whole nother side of guerrilla marketing, is going really edgy, going to that next level where people share the video. Now your ad is just spreading like wildfire, like crazy.
Yes.
For free.
So one example of that edginess is that I can't remember what company it is. Pull that up for me. I just sent it to you. Where the insurance company would have the guy who would get into like car accidents. You know what I'm talking about? He would
his name was Danger or something like that.
Yeah, I think he had Mayhem. And it's just that was very edgy. Like you're showing a guy who's getting into these accidents, like his tree falls on his house and he walks out and he's talking about,
most of your mom and pops typically don't like things like that because it's too risky. It might make them look not so serious or not being taken seriously, but it's about, again, how motivated or how brave are you to go outside of the norm, because going outside of the norm is how you become noticed.
People in businesses, especially if you own the business, you're taking risks every day. Mm-hmm. You take a risk by starting the business. You take, it's constant risk and managing that risk.
So yeah, just to kind of wrap up today's episode about guerrilla marketing and successful ads is about thinking about what would resonate with your clients. Try to interact with the environment. Try to get permission and just strive to be the most creative as possible. And that's going to take a lot of thinking, a lot of researching, and figuring out ways that you could get your name out there cost effectively and extremely in your face noticeable.
Yeah, creativity is fun. Coming up with these ads, it's fun. If you find someone who's really creative and they enjoy that process, then it's going to be very simple. But yeah, so that's a form of marketing that we wanted to cover. I really like that form of marketing, that different, that unconventional. Obviously from the last episode, you know that about me now. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching us today. Thank you so much for thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, share this with your family members and your friends, and turn on post notifications so that you get notified every time we post a new video. Also, check us out on Instagram for clips, updates, information, whatever.
And also, just to wrap up real quick, if you have a business and you're somewhat successful, you've reached a level of success, we'd love to get your story and invite you on the show, especially if you're in the Boston area, or New Hampshire,
honestly,
or New England,
wherever.
We would love for you to come out and sit down with us and let's talk about your journey. That's sort of the next phase of our podcast and our YouTube channel, is talking to other business owners, talking to them about their challenges. Don't hesitate to send us a message. And, we'll consider bringing you on the show. It's great for exposure, and we'd love to have you share some of your knowledge and your expertise
and your story.
Most importantly.
Yeah, that's a plan. Bring some people on here. I'm really excited for some people that we already have lined up.
Awesome. All right.
Peace out.